So what are we doing today, John?
Today we're having another round of Ernest Farrés, and we're looking at the poem Shakespeare at Dusk, 1935.
Alright, you go first.
Well, no, I've been first the last two
Oh, come
times,
on.
so this time it's your turn to go
Okay,
first.
me, then you, then we discuss,
And
then we check the published translation by Lawrence Venuti, right?
Exactamente.
Here we go.
Okay, so where you go then?
Shakespeare al cap vespre, 1935. That morning, waking from a convoluted dream, he found himself metamorphosed into a monstrous insect. Yet he jumped out of bed and went to work. So much weariness and struggle, so many pains and problems and privations, so much slogging and suffering, so many disagreements and long faces from engaging in the workplace while thrashing about on the ground like a fallen string ball unraveling. Beads of sweat streamed from his flaying legs and black abdomen as he went into permanent shock, banging his sides, unable to upright himself. If a bout of manic depression involves a rotation of euphoria and despair, entering the world of work mentally and physically divided his being into lights and shadows and just a tad of possible reason. And so, at dusk, once he knocked off work, the theatrical props of the city would force him to focus and scurry inch by inch along the path homewards. Like an actor who becomes his character, or like a convert to religion, the religion of one's betters, he found himself in a park, now as a wide-eyed chameleon, moody and drenched in endorphins. Around him, maidenhairs, parterres, and profane statues were like someone praying to the clarity of the sunset and the illuminated signs. For an instant, the howl of a siren broke into the sunset, then quickly faded. There would be more trouble, clashes, changes, and the final understanding that that path taken had no shortcuts.
Shakespeare at Dusk, 1935. That morning, waking from a strange dream, he found himself in bed, turned into a monstrous insect, but he got up in a hurry and went off to work. Such efforts, such a struggle, such hard work, so many headaches, so many problems, such getting on your war horse, so many hardships, so many disagreements and sulky faces, all from fulfilling your work obligations, running full tilt over the ground like an exhausted ball of string. Drops of sweat ran down his wriggling legs and over his black thorax. He got into a state of chronic stress, put a hip out, and could no longer fend for himself. If manic depression implies moving between moments of euphoria and of languor, the mental and physical incorporation into the world of work divided his being into shadows and lights, leaving a crack between his two halves, where still there resided a little bit of common sense. So that's how, on finishing at work that evening, the shimmering backdrop of the city forced him to clear his eyes and drag himself an inch at a time along the pavement on the way home. Like an actor who ends up believing his part, or a convert to a religion of those in charge, he found himself in a park, having turned into a tired-eyed chameleon, grumpy and overflowing with endorphins. Around him were jinkos, flower beds and profane statues, pretending not to see the dusk's clear light and the luminous signs. For an instant the wail of a siren interrupted the silence and quickly faded. For sure, more difficulties were on their way, more frights, more changes, and the final understanding that the road once taken had no shortcuts. Anto, now that was really interesting because I think that today I was, you see,
you didn't pay attention to.
I have been listening to what you've been saying in the previous videos as I sat beside your mastery. And when in doubt, I've taken the more literal path. So I was sticking a lot closer to the original, I feel, whereas you were really taking it by the scruff of the neck and giving it a good shake. And so I think that there were some bits where you really managed to get a nice sort of, slightly less stilted rendition. I think mine was sometimes a bit clumsy, but that was because I was following what to me was the clumsiness of the original. So, it's this interesting aesthetic decision that one makes along the way as to whether to do the poet a favour and sort of, say what he meant to say but didn't quite manage to, or actually say what he said and leave it up to the new reader to suffer the consequences.
Which bit are you talking about, John?
Well, no, your opening.
I thought the opening he was trying to work that with the tantas, penas, tantas, markups, tantas, triangles. I mean,
oh yeah, sure.
There I let it go because he was winding up the lacking.
No, I'm talking about the first 5 lines where you sort of shifted things around, left out the fact that he was in bed.
Oh well, come on! He wakes up and jumps out of bed.
No, but you didn't have. Did you have to jump out of bed?
Yeah, he jumped out of bed.
He jumped out of bed. Okay.
This is compensation, John. I didn't do it in that line.
No, I know. No, so I'm not suggesting that all the information isn't there.
Yeah, and
it's just that you really moved things around to create this good
that corrents means he got out of bed in a hurry, which you said, but I just said he jumped out of bed, so it's the same thing, isn't it?
Okay. No, I'm not for a moment suggesting that you're anything less than excellent.
I'm worried I made a mistake here.
You did, yes.
With res, yeah?
Okay.
Aquel qui res a la claror de
this expression, aquel qui res, is res de res, nothing. In other words, it means to faire el despistat, to be somebody who's not paying attention, or the person who doesn't want to know.
Yeah.
So that's where I had the statues pretending not to see.
Yeah. Que no fa res, no fa cas.
Yeah. El qui res is el que no fa cas.
No, I took a guess. It sounded like rezar.
I know, but your grammar would have told you that in the third person there should have been an A on the end.
Looking at it. Yes, I know, but I was worried about this.
But you were wanting it to.
No, I thought the transcription was defective because I don't see how that serena interrompe.
It's all past tense. He's using the sort of the more literary past tense. When he also has at other points he has.
For attentive users, this is not a tense used in Catalan, in spoken Catalan.
No, that's true.
Which is why I guessed. Oh, it's an irregular past tense of the whatever it is.
Right. Yeah. No. I mean, so for example, in the next line it says "sayuna," "lunya," and instead of "azva alunya," which would be the sort of.
I mean that
classic.
For other, it's the equivalent of the passé simple in French. It's sort of literary. Yeah. So I made a mistake. I apologise to the poet.
It's not often that Anthony Pym makes a mistake on camera, so that's really the 3-star occasion.
Okay. Mind you, I was doing this at 1 o'clock in the morning last night.
No, those are just excuses. Come on. Most translators work.
This text is interesting because it has that archetypical Catalan word seny.
Oh yes.
The one thing non-Catalans know about the Catalan language is seny.
Or the Catalans like to feel that's their common quality.
Which is
they do not share with the Spaniards.
Common sense would be a good everyday translation. I admit that first time round I put in sanity. Because sen can be sanity, and you're talking about manic depression here.
Yes.
Okay. And then I thought, well, no, we're missing that. The fact that despite being divided into the lights and shadows, you had something similar.
Yes.
There is that bit of him that can perceive the rest.
Yes.
Interestingly, Lacan has a lecture where this is the soul. He says we know
All right.
it exists l'âme, pas
Yeah.
But I thought reason.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. That's
Which is the capacity to see what's happening with your divided self.
Even though, yeah, it's the way you know that you're not mad. If you think I'm going mad, then you're not going mad, because the part of you that's still able to say I think I'm going mad
Well,
is still in the
it doesn't say that. It says un resquic, which is a tad or a little bit or something.
Yeah,
Did you have?
a little bit. Yeah.
Tenia cabuda. I mean, it could be there. There was some place for it to be there.
No, it's not. It's not conditional. It was there. I
Tenia
mean, and
cabuda.
it fitted. It resided between the two halves of his sort of division. His languor and his euphoria and his mental and physical.
Hell, I jumped that whole night.
Oh, yes. What you
I did.
You jumped it. That's because you didn't.
No,
you didn't
I
know
was
what
going
to do.
fast. I wanted to get to bed.
It's because you didn't know what to do with interstici, and so.
I know what that is.
Oh yes. What do you say?
It's that term in French literary theory that one leaves out all the time.
Yes, exactly. Because in English, you can put it into
space
plural.
between. Yeah.
You can put it into plural, and that sounds okay to sort of critical-minded people. But I've tested this
it's
on
the locators in the interstices.
Yeah,
the words you never use in normal English.
Interstices.
Is it?
Yeah, but the thing is, here it's singular.
Who would pronounce it that way?
I'm sorry.
You do that?
One has.
Is it in
one's past.
What did you put for that?
Okay, no. So I was concerned because this was singular.
Yeah.
And in my understanding of English, I've never seen it in the singular. So I mean, I even had to check how to pronounce it. But then I tested it on
you checked the pronunciation, did you?
Just in case I went for interstice. But I checked it on my local guinea pigs, and they all said, "Oh yeah, it's just a normal word," and they were all very comfortable with it.
Who, your local literary theorist guinea pigs?
No, they're not
every day.
They're not. Yeah, no. My everyday Catalan speakers.
Oh, interesting. Okay, in
and
Catalan,
they
but
said
not in English.
In Catalan, it's just dead simple. No problem.
Yeah,
it means
but
the
not in
space
English.
between.
Yeah,
Una escletxa.
and that's how I would translate it.
Crack.
Space between.
Crack. That's what I had.
Oh, yeah. All right, fair enough. Deixar-lhe un institution, leaving a crack between the two.
Between
halves.
shadows and lights, between the two halves of himself.
Yeah, that's fair. That's good. Yeah.
So
I jumped.
Your subconscious clearly.
My
chose to
subconscious
avoid that.
came up then. It said, "No, I don't want to see the cracks between my two halves."
All right. No. Okay, but you see.
Crack,
That's an interesting one. I mean, the same is a classic one.
Did you say crack?
Crack.
Yeah, guess you're unconscious, isn't it? Yes, yeah.
All right. Okay. But there were a lot more difficult things I had to negotiate before I reached interstici.
Okay.
What about?
I like your thorax. I looked at beetles.
Yes.
Because it's Gregor Samsa.
I did too. Yes.
And I thought, well, that's got to be the big bag. The thorax
Yes.
is the little thing, and the other. So I put abdomen, but
yes.
it's not a thorax, is it? Come on, really, it's the torso.
I'm sorry. In my entomological research, corpora is the Catalan word for the main. Because beetles, of course, are not like other insects whose bodies are clearly in three parts. This is okay. Yes,
the thorax is the first bit.
I was thinking of a beetle, and you were still clearly focused on the insect. Okay.
No. I looked up beetles, and I saw abdomen. And I said, that's it.
Yeah, but if you look at a beetle, I mean, the
thorax is when you learn about insects, and there's the head, the thorax, and the abdomen.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Well, so why the thorax?
I had body.
Yeah, but a bit weak, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It was weak. So when I heard
thorax, I'd like because it says, "Oh, we're back to the insect thing."
And also because it's black. It sounds good with black thorax. But just before that,
we both. I mean, there's debate about Kafka whether or not it's a beetle or not, isn't it? So, and it's not in the German text. It's just an insect, like a monstrous insect.
Yeah.
So,
but I definitely. I tell you, I'm interested in what you thought about the gotas de suor li rajaran de las belugadices putetes.
And his thrashing little legs. And then
thrashing, yes.
I got rid of the little because it's a big beetle, isn't it? Yeah. So they're not really little. So potitas.
Wriggling.
Wriggling is fine. Now I'm worried about. And I spent a long time on this little bit. Where is it?
Universitat Rovira.
No, when he's on the floor,
Yes.
terra.
Yes, no,
Un
refriganza.
cadei ballat.
Yes,
What the
yes.
hell?
Yes.
And I got cadei is a string ball, a ball
Yes.
of wood, or a wool of cotton that
And
unravels.
Just read the line.
Okay.
Well, so
Refraganza, which is really rubbing. Per
rubbing
terra.
against, yeah.
Per terra, with
Yeah.
refraganza on the ground, rubbing it against the ground,
Yeah.
like cadei baldat.
All right. So cardell is a ball of thread, string,
Yeah, yeah.
wool. Baldat, exhausted.
Yeah.
And baldat's not a word that, I mean, you have to have a sentient being to be baldat.
Yes.
So there's a real mix here of.
So sick, infected or something, but I mean, I couldn't do that.
Okay.
Then a tota
Tota
machina,
machina.
which is just going very fast.
Full tilt, whatever.
Full tilt is good, yeah.
An exhausted ball of string.
Well, what, you can't exhaust a ball of string.
I know, but you can't have baldat cardell tampoc. I mean,
Right.
I'm taking the Anthony Pym technique of if you're not quite sure what he means, give them a literal translation and let them worry about it.
Okay. Now, my problem was I had all these things. I had at full tilt, a tota machina, which just means very fast. On the ground means you're going along the ground
Yes.
fast. And I
Yes.
couldn't see anybody. I mean, it's a beetle caught on the ground on his back.
But it's
So he's
like
not
a ball
going
of,
fast
but I
anyway.
understand it's a ball of, well, okay.
Yeah, and it's unraveling. So therefore, I put the ball falls, the ball of string,
Yeah.
whatever, falls on the ground.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I
Yeah.
had this fast wayward movement, which doesn't make sense to a beetle that can't move.
Yeah. It was obvious to you that the beetle was on his back, right?
Or by that he can't
Because
put
of the
himself
wriggling.
upright.
Because of the wriggling
Well,
there.
it says he can't up. No spot. What did you just say?
No, it says gotetas de suor li rajaren de l'espelho
No,
grises
so
gotetas
no podía
de la
valerse. No podía. He couldn't get upright.
Okay, I took that a bit more generally and just said couldn't fend for himself.
No, I think it does mean get upright.
Well, what about esmaluka?
Where is it?
Maluk. Esmaluka. A maluk is a hip.
Oh yeah.
Versemal als maluks.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was understanding, and I could see him on his back, moving like this and hitting his two hips.
So what did you actually write?
Banging his sides. He's hitting his two hips, trying to get up. I can't get up.
I wasn't. I mean, yes. Okay. I had put a hip out.
Put a hip out. Yeah, well, that was one, isn't it? Because you fall on it. That's when you put your hip out. Something.
Yes.
Well. Oh, okay.
I mean, I would think that if you es malucarta, it's probably really bad luck if you put both hips out.
Okay, but it doesn't say put it out, does it?
That's what it means.
To hurt him.
To hurt his hips.
Yeah, he's hurting his hips because he's
What's
banging.
a little bang?
But he's thrashing around, so I thought it was
Yeah.
both sides.
Ah,
All right.
that was tricky. I reckon.
Yeah, I'm worried about the ball. The cadei threw me out. I didn't really know what to do with it.
And what did you do with it then?
Well, I told you, I had a string ball unraveling, a fallen string ball unraveling.
Right.
So, didn't it, it was stuck.
Okay, and so you put
Well, I was thinking actually
you
of a
put
golf
the
ball. If you get a
portera.
golf ball, yeah?
You put the portera after thrashing about.
Thrashing about on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Again, like in the
Yeah.
beginning, I've moved things from verse
Yes,
to verse
yes.
to make some sense, to tell you the truth. Probably making too much sense for the
Yeah.
poet. But anyway.
Yeah, yes. You see, now this is what I'm saying is the hand of the artificer is clearer in yours than mine. I sort of slightly didn't go forward so bravely as you did, but and that's why yours is probably easier to understand.
I was quite proud of this engaging in the workplace.
Oh yes.
Because I get
Cumplir las
obligations.
obligaciones laborales.
I mean, it's a phrase you get on all the stuff you're supposed to do, and in laws, and
Yes.
and when you get the sack. Not
Yes.
that I have that
Yes.
experience,
For
but,
failing to engage in
Yes.
the workplace.
but I checked the current parlance, and it's engaging in the workplace. It's not.
I suppose fulfilling your work obligations.
It's very clear.
That also sounds somewhat fulfilling. For failing to fulfill your obligations as a worker.
No, but they don't do that anymore
No.
because it's all about worker motivation
Engagement.
and
Right, yes,
getting
okay.
workers engaged. It's
Right,
all
okay.
this new speak,
Yeah.
which is why I got that.
Good.
All right.
What about in that second paragraph? Now what about
Attrezzo.
yes, no, el titilan.
Yeah, I didn't. It was late. titillante, I saw as titillating.
And you chose titillating?
No, I didn't. I left it out. It didn't work. But attrezzo, I mean, you got backdrop, right, was it?
Yes.
Which is nice, because it's a scene, a theatre.
But the thing is that the attrezzo includes the props.
Yes, indeed.
Unquestionably. So
Yeah, so I put props.
is weak.
And it wasn't clear, so I put theatrical props.
Okay.
Which sort of gets the idea.
So why? I'm interested because I spent a long time thinking about titillation.
I know.
Why did you avoid it?
Well, I know we had to do the girly show, the poem, and we lost the poem, so we couldn't do it. Why did I leave it out? It didn't work because by the time I put in theatrical, I had no space for the titillation.
No, theatrical takes
and I
up the
thought
space.
theatrical would get the same idea a bit.
Titillan, in English, titillating, obviously takes you in the line of sort of photographs that are mildly arousing, no?
Mm-hmm.
But I tested this word on my guinea pig. And they said, oh no, it's titillan, yeah. It means, and they immediately understood it as the way light operates at twilight in the dusk.
Okay.
So
nice.
sort of shimmering, twinkling, this type of thing.
Yeah, that's good. I didn't have room for that, so... Because
Because you didn't make room for it.
Well, I could have put, what? Shimmering? What did you say?
Shimmering.
What did you
I had shimmering, yeah. All right.
But the shimmering is surely the light which comes out later of the advertisements, of the publicity lights. Where is that?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was there sooner or later.
Els anuncis luminosas.
Yeah.
Okay, what about... yes, I liked your bit about the actor.
Actor becomes his character.
Yes, that was good, as opposed to ends up believing in his part, which is very...
Well, it's literally
close
what
to
he
what
put.
said.
Yeah.
And what about a convert to a religion of one's
Thals
betters?
came out. Yeah, you had. I originally put of the people in charge, of those in charge. And I was watching some stupid thing about Jeremy Clarkson complaining about getting the sack and stuff. And there was just some phrase from that. They said, "Oh, your betters.
Yes.
You've got to know who your betters are."
Yes.
I thought that's so damn English.
Yeah, I know.
That fits in. Fits in with this
from
engaging in the workplace. I thought,
Yes, your Australianness coming through there.
Is it? Yeah, okay.
What about, and your chameleon? Oh, you had him wide-eyed. Ulleros.
I didn't look it up.
No, you see, because if you're ulleros, it means you have ulleres. That's to say you've got, like,
Glasses?
bags under your eyes.
Oh, okay.
So it means tired-eyed.
No, all comedians have bags on.
No, all comedians have bloody big
and bags on them.
Well, that's the little piece of skin where
all the time, yeah.
The eye.
So it doesn't mean
joins
they're
the body.
in a state of grogginess or whatever you said. What did you say?
No, I said tired-eyed.
Tired-eyed.
I mean, he would be tired-eyed coming home from work.
So no, he's full of endorphins.
And I also...
But
he's grumpy too.
He's pumped up.
But he's moody.
His eyes are highs.
No, but he's malhumorat.
Yes,
I mean, how can you be malhumorat y embegut de endorfinas? If you're embegut de endorfinas, you're high on endorphins, you're not going to be malhumorat. I mean, I don't know what this guy's... Okay, I mean, towards the end of the poem, he's got these two states that are sort of oscillating.
Okay, so we've got the two states, hence the comedian.
Yes.
Changing.
Oh, yes, very good.
Yes. Light and shade.
Yes, very good.
So wide-eyed, I'll change wide-eyed. I withdraw that.
And then you, and then we come to that.
Now, do you know?
Enormous mistake.
You know everything, John. But did you know first time round what ginkgos are?
Yes, I did. Yeah, a ginkgo.
Ginkgo. I didn't. I have no idea what a ginkgo is.
Oh, it's a tree with a little fan-like leaf.
I found
originating in Japan.
Also called maidenhair tree.
Oh, probably is that in Australia?
No, it's in my dictionary.
Australian dictionary of common.
Well, listen to
trees.
it. I mean, the attraction of the lights and the titillation. I thought maidenhairs, parterres, and profane statues. I thought, that's lovely.
All right, okay. Maidenhairs. That does take us into titillating.
Far more than ginkgos.
Yeah. Okay, and what about? Oh, you went for illuminating signs rather than luminosos.
Illuminated.
I mean, yes.
Illuminated.
Yes. But I mean, luminos means giving out light rather than receiving light.
Yeah, it does.
But I mean, I was tempted by
Oh,
neon.
I actually looked that around. Yeah, neon was later.
1935
Yes, I checked that.
would have been an electric light. Yes, good.
I did look up illuminated signs and illuminated advertisements,
yeah.
and I had it there. But
No, but I mean,
illuminated
if it
fits
is
in with the converts to religion, you see. So illumination.
Yes.
Epiphany.
You're very good at sort of creating the web of reference.
Justify mistakes, yeah.
No. I mean, because obviously it was illuminated, it's giving out light too. But I think from then on, it's not too
Trouble
difficult.
classes changing, yeah. Now look, the list of stuff.
Yeah.
People don't know the Catalan, but the Catalan is...
It's got
It's
tantes.
dans, tantal vita, dans penses, dans malcaps, dans travails, dans cabaetavataya, dans privations, tantas privations.
Yeah.
Well, you can't do it in English, you just can't repeat that.
No.
So you did
No, I went for such as a
such,
variation
so many. Yeah, I got so
efforts,
much,
such
so
a
many,
struggle,
so much,
such-
so many.
Yeah, okay. Well.
But
But I agree.
the
If
repetition.
you did it, because the trouble is that the structure in Catalan is a monosyllable, or two syllables,
Yeah,
whereas
there's
ours
many
actually
two.
starts
Two or
really
three.
building up 2 or 3. It's too much.
So,
Right then. So are we ready for to see
our
what
man.
our man
okay.
had to say?
I don't know. For people who are not regular viewers, we have not looked at the published prize-winning translation. 25. Do you want to have a go, John, or is it me?
I can read if you like.
Okay.
Right then, so Shakespeare at dusk. That morning, on waking from a troubled dream, he found himself in bed, transformed into a monstrous insect. But he rose in a hurry and went to the office. So much effort, struggle, suffering, worry, distress, obsession, privation, friction and sourness derive from fulfilling work obligations, manically dragging oneself through the mud like a frazzled ball of yarn. Drops of sweat flowed from his fidgety little legs and black body. He entered a permanent state of stress, dislocated a hip, and couldn't manage. If a manic depressive disorder involves a rotation of euphorias and lethargies, his mental and physical embodiment in the world of work split his being into lights and shadows, leaving a crack between two halves where a modicum of sense was wedged. And so, when he knocked off that evening, the glittering mise-en-scène of the city forced him to brighten his outlook and crawl along the pavement inch by inch the whole way home. Like an actor who winds up believing his role, like a convert to the religion of those in charge, he found himself in a park, transformed into a chameleon with ringed eyes, peevish and saturated with endorphins. All around, jinkos, flower beds and statues, profane, were acting like nothing special in the radiance of sunset and illuminated signs. For a moment, the howl of a siren broke the silence and rapidly receded. More troubles were sure to come, scares, changes, and the final realization that the road taken offers no shortcuts.
Not bad.
Yeah, so...
Very similar, actually.
I think he's closer to me than he is to you.
He is, yeah.
And there are certainly some felicities, as they say in the translation trade.
Peevish was lovely.
Peevish was good.
Went to the office is good too, I think. Alafena could be office or any kind of work, but we understand he's a pen pusher.
Yeah.
This guy, I think.
Okay, and he avoided all that tantas business
So
just by listing. He did so much, and then he listed just abstract single nouns.
That's fine, it works.
That was good. What about the frazzled ball of yarn?
Where'd the mud come from?
Yes.
The mud?
Well, he wants refreganza.
There's no mud there. Per terra is... What is it? Through the mud? What is it?
Yeah, dragging oneself through the mud.
Like a frazzled ball of yarn. Now, I'm struggling to see a ball of yarn going through mud, let alone pulling itself through the mud. I don't know. I can't figure out the metaphor.
No.
But I had trouble with metaphor in Catalan too. So
Oh, yeah.
But the mud, I think, is a gratuitous addition.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Yeah.
Now, I'm the only one who thought that this is a beetle who couldn't get upright, apparently.
Drops of sweat flowed from his fidgety legs, little legs,
Yeah.
fidgety little legs and black body. He entered a permanent state of stress, dislocated a hip and couldn't manage.
Couldn't manage. What did you put? Something similar, wasn't it?
Drops of sweat ran down his wriggling legs and over his black thorax. He got into a state of chronic stress, put a hip out, and could no longer fend for himself.
Okay.
I'm inclined to agree with you. I mean, I think the image is of the beetle on his back in a state of helplessness.
Should consult with somebody who
Well,
knows about
perhaps
beetles
the
who
poet.
get stranded, yes.
I think we should
But
consult with the
I
poet.
think not Padilla Valles. I did see it, that image. Perhaps it's not there, but I did see it. And it makes sense in the context.
Yeah.
And now, he liked crack too, so
Yes,
there you
that's
go.
two
You
cracks.
share a psychoanalytical obsession there.
But I thought modicum of sense.
Modicum
Very
sense
good.
is fine, yeah.
Yeah, was
Sen is sense, that's not a bad translation.
well, especially after modicum of sense, yes.
Mhm.
And knocked off.
Oh, the institutus, did we do that?
There's the crack
Oh, the crack, of course, yes.
between two halves.
Yeah, that's it.
I liked the titilan attrezzo. He
Was
had
what?
the glittering mise en scène. The glittering mise en scène of the city forced him to brighten his outlook.
Where'd that come from?
Aclarirse la vista.
Repta pam. No, aclararse la vista. Ah, no, I thought he was
No.
focusing his eyes.
Yes, yeah. I understood that he comes out of work and he's tired.
Yes.
And I was told by my test interlocutor, that aclararse would mean like rubbing your eyes to see more clearly.
Yeah, I put focus. I mean, he's not seeing. I thought he was high on the drugs and stuff.
Yes.
Forced him to focus.
Yeah.
So what did he put?
Forced him to clear his eyes. Clears is a bit
What did he
silly.
say?
He had to brighten his outlook.
No, I don't see that.
No.
I think he's.
But then...
And I don't see him becoming very bright in his outlook if he's very soon quite grumpy.
Yes.
Malhumorat.
Yeah. The chameleon with ringed eyes for Ulyaros.
Good, nice. Because it solved the problem. He's supposed to be, the endorphins are pumping around him, so his eyes can't be closed.
I originally, when I thought about the chameleon with his eyes, I had bug-eyed chameleon, but I thought that was a little bit calling it. I think a chameleon could be offended to be called a bug.
I scurry inch by inch along the path homeless. Repta babapam.
No, he doesn't have scurry.
I had curry. Scurry. He's got crawl. Has he got crawl?
Sorry.
Repta babapam. Crawl
along the pavement, inch by inch, the whole way home.
Repta is to move like a reptile. Reptile.
Yeah. That's right. So
I
had drag yourself along.
Okay.
Drag himself an inch at a time.
Okay, it's not. Yeah.
He preferred jinkos. I'm glad to see.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, and he also didn't have profane at the end of the, but he had statues profane, which is sort of quite nice and 19th century.
Yes, but why?
Well, because he's following the order of the original.
Oh, but the Catalan put postpositions.
Yeah.
Adjectives anyway. So
statues profanas, statues profane. And I think he
was right, was he?
We're acting like nothing
special in the radio. Well, he got the right sense of Farrés.
Yeah, but if you act like nothing special, I mean, one thing's acting like nothing special, acting like you see nothing special, or like acting like there's nothing special going on.
I think he's right then.
Well, he's closer.
Okay, querés al color locas, yeah. And noches luminosos are?
Illuminated signs. Yes.
Very good.
So you've agreed on him with something. I also realised.
Don't tell anyone.
Okay, I liked his realisation, the final realisation for comprension. That was good. And the road taken offers no shortcuts.
Where we all. I had offers for ages there, and then, I mean, it's very prosaic. It's not denia, so it has no.
Had no.
Yeah.
Offers no.
I did like offers. I might put it back. I will.
You had it and you took it out?
Yeah. I thought I might as well be literal because it's so prosaic. Let's try to be prosaic.
And in order to, that's why I inserted once, the road once taken. Little echo of Robert Frost there.
Yeah, I think I might have even done that when I was reading.
Oh, it slipped it in.
I think I did.
The rhythm requires it.
Well, no, but the ending is definitely non-rhythmic. It's prosaic.
So it falls to pieces.
Yeah, it does, as does the person.
Yes.
After this little moment of crisis in the park.
Right then.
That was it.
So, not bad, no?
I think we all pass.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yep.
Right then, well, till next time.
Only one mistake, Larry. Keeping up to your standards. And some good trouvailles.
Yes.
Wouldn't say as well.